Hi, welcome to today's series where we're going to be using a foam roller and we're going to be doing some standing work and balances with this one. Now, just to let you know, these exercises can feel a little tricky. So just being careful how you put your foot in certain places and then always working to your ability. So you're going to start by lying the roller down so it's in its shortened position, and you're going to place one foot onto the top. So we're going to go into the arch area of your foot, and you're just going to take a step up onto the foam roller. So you'll keep your back toes just touching for that first idea of what's happening. So because the roller is unsteady, of course, as you come up, there's potential for it to move forward or backward. And our aim is that you're going to feel really steady on this leg so that you can now come up and then take the back foot just off of the floor and then returning down. We're going to do another 3 of those as we come up. Let the leg lift behind you, and then another 2, and then 1 more time as we bring it all the way back up again. So if you're comfortable with doing that and want to stay there, please by all means do. We're going to progress it now. So you're going to come up and you're going to step your foot forward and then come up and step your foot backward. So the standing leg on top of the roller is always slightly bent. So when you're stepping forward, you have the bent knee. When you're stepping back, you have the bent knee. So there's not a full straighten each time, just kind of getting into the sense of where you're going to be balanced. This is important as we lead up into the next exercises coming through. Last one is you take your step back and then rest that foot down. Before you do the other side, have a moment to compare your 2 feet. And I like to do that from a thinking perspective, a feeling perspective, not necessarily looking at the foot. So you may notice something like your arch is a little bit more elevated or toned in the foot that you just had on top of the roller. So let's go and do the other side. So same motion, start with your foot in the center. And then as you come up, 2 sides are different. So we know we want to just see what's it like if I keep my foot behind me, still taking some touch point on the floor. And you can keep doing that if you want to. Otherwise, as you come up, it's just a hovering of that foot away from the ground. So I'm not kicking my leg back behind me. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just focusing on standing on the leg that's on the roller. So we'll go for another 2 like that. And this is important to realize while you're doing this motion is that rocking of the roller forward backward. So you want to be able to give way for that to happen and not to try and lock your joints out to prevent that happening. That was more than I think I said. But from here, we're going to go into the tapping of your foot to the front and then to the back. And again, to the forward shape and to the backward shape. So these exercises are much more challenging than you think if you look down, because then your body weight will want to go forward and the likelihood of you tripping is higher. So try and go with your eye gaze a little bit more lifted so that you can really sense how far do I have to lift that leg up and over. We'll do that 1 more time and then taking it to the back. And then again, rest your foot down towards the floor and you'll feel that arch coming alive underneath the foot that was just on the roller. So now you're going to step up again, but this time we're going to put both feet onto the roller. So when I'm in this position, I do not let my knees lock out. In fact, they need to stay soft, and I want to let the roller go through a little bit of motion forward and backward, not excessively, but this is just helping me find where is my balance. I'm never really going to be completely static and still, and it's important that you don't think that that's the image we're creating. And like I said, those knees need to be just a little bit soft so that you can absorb the forces that are coming from the unsteadiness of your lower body. So once you've got your balance, this is tricky all on its own. You could always use a wall surface for balance if you needed to, or a dowel pole to hold on to. There are many ways of making this a lot easier. So once you're in your balance, and if you're someone who's sort of going on and off and on and off, try not to get frustrated. But I want you to find that little sweet spot where you are still staying. Now, if you've ever done something like stand-up paddleboarding or surfing, you will understand this change underneath you, like the water changing underneath you and being, as balanced as you can on your board. From here, we're going to take it into a squat. Of course we are. So we're going to take the bottom back behind you, send the arms out in front of you, and then stand yourself up. And again, sit your bottom back, sending the arms forward and returning yourself back upright. So there are just 3 more to go. And each time you're doing this, you're just seeing, am I at the point where I can do this effectively without using excessive stresses in other parts of my body? As I stand up, it's a slow return to the top, just like it's a slow sit back down. I've already lost count because I'm talking too much. All right, so next one is, again, are you still in the position? If you're here, maybe your arches are starting to shout out a little bit more. So it's still the same squatting, but what you're going to do is you're going to aim your arms down toward the floor as though you're going to touch the ground and then standing yourself back up. So you could picture holding weights in your hands so that as you're going down, those weights are dropping with gravity to the floor and then bringing yourself back up again. And we'll do 3 more if I can remember to count properly as we go toward the floor and coming up. Now, if you haven't already realized this, you need a lot of flexibility and stability in your ankle to be achieving this with quiet grace. And up. What I hope you're going to be noticing is as you're squatting down, you've got a really nice neutral spine. If you're rounding your spine, it's not going to be great. And then returning yourself all the way back up. Finish strong and then step your feet off. Just give your feet a little bit of a stretch, so toes going in the opposite direction, just to make sure that you don't end up cramping in that alignment. From here, we're going to just move that roller back to the edge of the mat a little bit. You're going to place one foot onto the ball of the foot. We're going to come down towards the floor into the start of a plank. So holding your position with your upper body nice and steady, and then you're going to transfer your foot to the roller. And then you're going to take that same foot and bring it back to the ground and sending the leg away and then bringing the knee forward. So each time I bring my knee to the front, I'm resting my foot back onto the floor. I'm trying my best to keep the body length the same, the body height the same, so I'm not pushing away and I'm not pulling in, I'm not collapsing, and I'm not overly pushing out. That's number 5. And then bringing it all the way down. So we're going to switch sides, so setting yourself up for the second direction. So foot is on the floor. You could always put your knee on, but that's a little bit deeper and a little bit more challenging, believe it or not. So up onto the ball of your foot and then press that leg to meet the roller and then bring it back in. And again, lengthen it out long and return. You got 3 more. And hopefully you're feeling a little breathless like I am. 2. And then last one. And then bringing it all the way back and resting down. Okay, let's have a little break from the feet and the standing upright. We're going to bring that roller towards the back of your spine as you bring yourself into a stretch out here. We're going to hold your hands behind your head and we're going to roll up the spine, lifting your bottom just off the floor, and then roll down your spine. So as we do this, if you're lucky, you'll get a few cracks, pops, whatever feels good in your spine. You've just got your bottom in a hover position as you're going backward and forward. I usually talk of this like a seesaw movement, that as I go to my shoulders, my knees and hips are up. And then as I go towards the lower part of my ribs, my knees and hips lower slightly. But I'm not resting completely on the ground. So we'll do that one more time. And then you're going to find yourself into a position where it feels really comfortable around the back of the rib cage and around the shoulder area. From here, we're going to stretch your spine over, creating a nice big arc. And then nodding your head and shoulders forward. Stay lifted, twist to the left, and then arc over the back. And then coming forward, twist towards the right, and arc over and behind. So we'll keep that going as we twist and lean behind. So it's really important in our rib cages that we are quite flexible in the ribs. So it's called a rib cage, which doesn't really give it the appearance of being very sort of mobile and flexible. But that's how we want to feel in our body, because there is so much movement that happens around this spine of ours and rib cage area. And then returning yourself all the way back in from there. So you're just going to push yourself away and then bring that roller around and down now to behind your feet and in front of your sit bones. Okay, so from here, we're going to raise our pelvis up and just place it on top of the foam roller. And the point here is to feel very well supported with the back of the hips. So in this position, we're going to bring our knees up into the air and then just let your feet be nice and relaxed and drop down. We're going to send our legs over towards the side, keeping the opposite shoulder down on the mat, and then sending the legs over and across to the opposite way and coming through the center. I love this movement because not only is there movement happening side to side, but you can feel this lovely, delicious stretch or pressure down onto the bottom glute, which is relieving for your pelvis, and it's going to help support your back to be a little bit freer. All right, so from here, as we take our legs over to the side again, just hold your shape, and then you're going to reach your legs out long and then send them all the way to the ceiling and then lower down. And then we'll repeat that, going over to the side, reach the two legs long and bringing them up and down. We'll do one more together like this as we go across and then reach the legs out, ceiling height and lower, and then last time sending the legs over and then returning them to the midpoint and down. So you can stick with that version if you prefer. Otherwise, we'll keep our legs straight. We're just going to do 2 per side as we go into a pendulum swing. So with the pendulum, you want to make sure that you're very controlled. This is not about trying to get your legs all the way to the ground. It's still keeping that integrity of your shoulder on the floor and getting that movement across the pelvis and then back to the center line and lower your legs all the way down. Lift the roller out from underneath you and place your feet on top of it. So just making sure you feel comfortable in your low back shape. So we're going to go into a little breathing movement here. You're going to nod your head forward, slide your hands out in front of you and hover your arms off of the mat. From this position, we're going to breathe in as you stretch your legs away from you, and then breathe out as you pull your legs towards you. So inhaling out, exhaling in, and 3 more times. And out. And inhale. And exhale. And last time to breathe in and reach. And exhale to return. And head goes down. So we're going to do a little breathing movement. We call it the 100. We'll be in our stretched out position. It's going to be bouncing the hands next to the side of you. So from your fingertip to your shoulder, we'll stay in a nice straight line. As you curl yourself forward, lengthen the legs all the way out. Hold this position, and we're going to breathe in for a count of 5. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last round, in. And out. And then rest down, keeping your legs all the way stretched out away from you. Just make sure that roller feels like it's towards the base of your ankle area. And then you're going to cross your right leg over the top of your left. Send your right arm all the way over behind you. Use your left hand to grab the wrist and then side bend yourself over, creating a nice stretch through the length of your body. So from your baby finger all the way down the side of you towards your baby toe. And then coming back to your center position, we switch our legs over, cross the left over the right, hold the left wrist with the right and side bend your way over. So exposing through the ribs, giving a nice flexible position of your back and side, and then back to the center. From here, we'll just pull those legs in and roll yourself up through the center line. We've got a couple more things to finish and then we are done. So from here, just bringing yourself over so that you are onto the top of the roller, so you want to have it just below your kneecap line so you feel fairly steady on the lower leg. So you're always having the option to be able to keep your toes on the floor for more stability, but if you want to challenge yourself, your feet are going to be free from the ground. We're going to keep our hands where they are in space. Remember to not be shortened and collapsed through your upper body, but to really feel very strong and supported. I actually feel very light as I'm balancing my weight here right now. So we're going to send the right leg all the way out and away from you. From here, without the body rounding, just pull the knee to come above the roller and then stretch it out and away from you. And again, fold the knee in. It's tempting to want to round through the pelvis, but don't. And if you need to make sure that that leg is in line with your hip, you can always look back and ensure that it's no higher than your hip area. And we've got one more time as we pull that knee in and forward, and then holding it out. We're going to tap the floor, lift and lower. And 2, keeping again as steady as possible, making sure that your weight is fairly evenly balanced through your hands. Hold at number 5. Send the leg out to tap, lift it up, across to tap. And 2s. With this one, really checking that you're not going to lean into your left hip. 3s. And 4s. The shadow of my arms right now on my mat looks like a diamond. 5. And then returning back in and rest. Now, ideally, we're going to keep that position on your body. If you need to break with your hands or with your upper body, go for it. Let's send that leg all the way out again. Nice long reach. And then from there, we're going to pull the knee in, bringing it forward, and then over the top, reaching it back. And again, fold the knee from the hip perspective and press it back out. 3 more times as we pull the leg and lengthen the leg. And 2 more. We're having a fantastic thunderstorm here right now. The rain is coming all the way down. Last one. Keep the leg out long. Tap your toes down and up for 5. And 4. Great. 3. And 2. And 1, and let's take it out to the side and across and over. And out to the side and across and over. So here comes 3. And 4. And last one to either side, 5. Back to the center, return and finish. All right. So here we are finishing off. Hands are onto the roller, knees are onto the ground. Keep your knees balanced underneath your hips. Send yourself all the way out for a nice deep stretch. So long line. Keep your head away from the floor so ears and arms aligned. And then lead with the chest coming up, rolling that roller back in towards you. And then again, stretching yourself out. So from your baby finger again up to the shoulder. See if you can feel it going all the way up towards the hip. And then returning yourself into your upright shape. We've got 3 more as we send the roller out and away. And then coming up and in. Now with every movement, you can do it to your maximum and feel unsafe. Or you can take it to a zone where you feel very controlled in your shoulder joints. That's where I would prefer us to be. Last one as we stretch it all the way out, long reach, and then bringing it all the way back in. And good news, that's us done for today. Thanks for joining me. I know it was a bit of a challenge for some of those moves, but you know what? Sometimes it's good to feel a challenge in the workouts that we do. I look forward to seeing you again in another one. Bye for now.